beautiful the light is in this room right now. I just appreciate it on so many levels. So this is Teresa Phelps Martin in the Soulfully You group for Yoga Soul Flow at a new time live. If you arrive, say hello, let me know. This time is interesting for me on so many levels. It's a time that historically I have taught at, and I think I have truly been avoiding this entire virtual yoga offering because it hurts, okay? It hurts. It's hard to not be in person. It's hard to not be associated with a physical community. So I appreciate you all. And once again, adjusting with the time shift. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know, let's dive in, okay? I get to be home by myself. This is a really big deal. Literally just dropped off my daughter, who you guys are very familiar with, how much her and I have been together. I just dropped my daughter off for her first ever ballet class. And I dance ballet from classical ballet. So I know there's so many dance programs and everything, but I dance classical ballet. And so taking her to the Louisville Ballet is really special to me. I auditioned with the Louisville Ballet. I did audition for Gilliard. I auditioned for the School of American Ballet. I had no body awareness or self-worth confidence to really evoke my love for dance at that time, but I can now. And so anyhow, it's a sacred morning on so many levels. Okay, so let's dive in. The womb of the moon. That's where we are. We are at a point of releasing. And as we're in this point of releasing, it's about releasing the energy that is impeding the story that our soul wants to write. It is about letting go of what we know at the depth of our being. We know we need to release. However, maybe, hello everybody who's showing up. Thank you for saying hi. I really, like the last time I did this live, Facebook told me nobody was watching, and then there were a number of you watching, so it's really kind of hilarious. So anyhow, the womb of the moon is the womb of anything. It's where, I'm going to relate it to pregnancy. No, I'm going to relate it to that energy that we're in right now. If you can think of a flower, right? A flower is beautiful, right? It's, and think of it when it's fragrant and all that like pollen has been falling all over your counter. You can even think of a cut flower that the leaves are starting to shrivel, and but you kind of don't want it to be over, right? Like they've made your house more beautiful, or maybe it's in the garden. You've enjoyed its aroma, and its aroma is still there. Sometimes the aroma is really rich right before the nectar evaporates. And that's just where we are, right? The petals are falling off. It's time to compost it. It's time to really let go so that you can welcome in new. And that's just where we are today. There's a sacred alignment that those of you watching live, when we finish our practice today, there will be a shift of energy. So tune in and use a little bit of this afternoon to reflect on what has been going on for 19 years that you can release. So you can look at the patterning, what was going on in June of 2002 at this time. What was going on? I was actually in Paris, Kentucky on a farm tending and driving a big old backhoe and mowing fields of a tree nursery that I planted. It's not in our family anymore. So anyhow, and then the trajectory of my life changed, and I never worked on that farm again, except for when I helped out with the film Seabiscuit. You can look at June of 2002. You can look at June of 1983, and you can even look at June of 1964, since some of you guys were around at that time. And so what's this new storyline you want to create? And we can create once we clear out what was there. So that womb of the moon, it's about that place of where we release the old flower, but we're getting ready to plant the new seed. So if I went to the gardening analogy, it's that energy where the soil is at rest, right? It's that season of winter where it's just quiet and cold. It's just when the moon moves, it moves faster. So let's move. Physiologically, we've got air, we've got the nervous system, and we've got earth, which is boundaries and the connection to the material body. So energy is really intense. It's very volatile, and for everybody in every way. And it's kind of like this month of June is the crescendo, like the peak of the intensity for the entire 2021. So when we move, we really want to feel the container of our body. So physical, muscular energy, the skin to the muscle to the bone, from the periphery to the core, and holding that ability for movement, for breath, for expansion, to choose, to recenter, to feel the connection. And so we're going to feel the connection of the vertical line and the horizontal line. We are going to start standing, even though the energy is calling for us to be more grounded. We are going to start standing and just connect to this cross energy, the material and the physical and the spiritual. And how can we really integrate as we're learning how to fly? So it's kind of like we're just tending to the soil so that we can give birth. So standing on your 2 feet, feeling your foundation. As always, we'll call in the highest. And as always, we will be conscious of our choices and choose mindfully and choose for your soul, as hard as that might be sometimes. Okay, here we go. Finding your 2 feet and the connection to your heart, and the connection to all there is and all that is here for you, grounding into the earth, and inhaling, feeling this expansion energy, like out from the heart, out to the sides, on all directions. And we'll call in the 4 elements of the earth, air, fire, and water. We'll call in the directions of north, south, east, and west. We'll call in our angels of the highest light, our guides. And we'll call in a divine ray of love and protection so that we can draw a circle around our bodies and our being. And then breathe 3 breaths of the energy you want to place into that circle. It's usually the healing light, the peaceful light, and the clear energy, but it's up to you. to these directions and call in this energy, that you have a choice, that you can direct, you can declare how you want to engage with this energy, and we declare and demand that no one or no thing can enter or harm. And as we enter into this conclusion, that we can acknowledge what we want to release, and we can offer it up to the different earth angels and guides and mentors that are seen and unseen, that have guided us through this journey and have been with us, so that we can feel the richness and the density, but also welcome in a newness. Inhale all the way in, and at the top of the inhale, pause and just bear witness to the energy and the direction your awareness goes. Then open the mouth in a big exhale out, hugging in, just starting to hug into the core. So the front body, the back body, the two sides. Now you're going to inhale your arms up to the side onto that horizontal line. Inhale in, at the top of the inhale, pause. Feel the expansion continuing. And feel that as we're at that peak, noticing just when it's time to release. And then opening the mouth. Exhaling out. Inhaling the arms up overhead, hands together or apart. Breathing in, expanding into the back body. Connecting to those core lines, hugging into the midline, feeling the midline. And then opening the mouth. Exhaling out. Feeling as you stand tall in your own light, in the womb of the moon, in the womb of just you, your soul. What do you want to give birth to? It means you have to release, right? Big breath in. And then exhale, hinge the hips all the way down to the earth. Touch the earth. Open your eyes, looking at the ground, at the soles of the feet. Relax your neck and jaw. Keep the knees bent. Feel all the contraction, all the intensity. Inhale, find length in the spine. And exhale, bow down. 2 more times. Inhale, find length in the spine. Your hands may come to your shins. And exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow. Hands to the earth, bend the knees. Step back with your left foot. Hands to the ground. You're just going to inhale, straighten the legs. Don't go completely straight. Filling up into the back body and then exhaling, feeling the heel move back, the knee move forward, but you're still hugging into yourself. Inhale, feeling the hips lift up, the inner thighs are moving back, the waistline is expanding. The back body, and then exhale. Feel that expansion helping to direct you, but you're still connected. Right? Inhale. One more time. And exhaling. As you exhale, feel the end of the exhalation, the very bottom. Ground the hands down. Step back, downward dog. Stretch through your fingers, feel the core lines of the arms connected to the core. So we're moving slow to feel the volatility, right? The intensity of what is there for each of us and all of us. Inhale, stay connected, feel that muscular engagement. Come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, move back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, all the way back, downward dog. Connect with your foundation. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, the knees are going to come down this time. You're going to take 3 breaths to chin, chest to the floor. So inhale in, and then exhale, the elbows bend. And then inhale in. Exhale, the elbows bend. Inhaling in. And then exhaling all the way to the earth, all the way to the ground. And make sure you come all the way to the ground. Like let every bone feel dense. Hands go wide. Find your fingertips. Elbows lift. Inhale, rise up. Now we're going to pause here for 3 breaths because I want you to feel the expansion on the horizontal, out to the sides of the ribs. Draw the waistline back. Elbows are up. They tend to pull down. Keep the elbows up, shoulders in. But each time you exhale, feel how you can allow the energy of the heart to expand. And then exhale, melt the heart to the ground. And yes, if you're like, oh no, we went down for 3 breaths, do we have to come up? Yes, we're going to come up for 3 breaths. Hands under your shoulders. Yes, it's going to be hard. Tuck your toes, draw into the core. But let go of the idea that it's impossible and welcome in the ability that through your perseverance and your steadiness, you can find it again. So inhale up a little bit. Exhale out. Inhale up a little more. Exhale out. Inhale all the way up onto your hands and knees. Exhale out. Inhale, lift up and back. Downward dog. Slowly walk your feet forward. Coming all the way to the top edge of the mat. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. Hold all that energy together. Exhale, fold into it. So we're being rhythmic, but in that very like walking through the pluff mud, walking through the thick, muddy waters. And just breathing life into the energy of ourselves. Inhale, find length. And then exhale, bend the knees. Elbows to your thighs. Draw into the core, find that center. Interlace the fingers. And then inhale, come standing, hands to your heart. So they can be in Anjali Mudra or Varja Mudra, where the hands rest on the chest. Breathe all the way in. At the top of the inhale, pause. Feel all that's expanding inside of you. And then exhale all the way out. Inhale your arms out to the sides, out on the horizon. Pausing at the top of the inhale, and then exhaling all the way out. Inhaling the arms overhead, hands together or apart, it's up to you. Draw into the core, find length, find connection. Inhale in, pause at the top of the inhale. And then exhale all the way out. Another inhale in. And then exhale. Hinge at the hips, long spine, micro bend the knees, keep the core lifted, shoulders on the back. So stay engaged all the way to the ground. 3 breaths. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow. Slowest sun salutation ever, right? Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow. We are in fixed earth energy as I teach, and mutable air, which I actually have a lot of fixed earth energy and a lot of mutable air energy. Inhale, find length. Touch the earth. So right foot's going to go to the back, okay? Remember this little move? It's been a while, right? So here we are, find the lunge, and then inhale. So you're pushing into the ground, but you're hugging into the midline. You're breathing into the back body, finding that connection, and then exhale. Knee goes forward, heel goes back, but you're holding on to that energy of your center. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now as you get to this exhale, you're going to find the length in the spine, open up. And at the very end of the exhale, you're going to acknowledge that you're letting go of this pose to climb into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. Exhale, pull back, downward dog. So wildly enough, because I'm going to make it about me for a second, 19 years ago, I had just returned from Costa Rica, ready to go back, ready to go become a yoga teacher. Like, just had a different plan. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Knees come to the earth and pause. Draw into the belly, 3 breaths. So you're going to exhale a little, pause, breathe. Exhale a bit more. Yes, this is a fierce practice, but we can move, you guys. Exhale a bit more. Inhale. And then exhale all the way to the earth. Like, let everything get heavy. Release completely. Let the earth catch you. Even if it wasn't graceful, here you are. And so you can let go of the attachment to what you thought that last flow or this whole practice was going to be, and open up for something new. Elbows lift, shoulders to the back. You're going to pull into the core, so hugging into that center. Inhale in Gecko Cobra, 3 breaths here. And I'm not going to talk, so I can breathe too, but breathe and expand the back horizontal line. Exhale all the way down to the earth. Hands under the shoulders. So 3 pulses to find your way up. Maybe it's just 3 tries to get off the ground. Shoulders to the back, hands ground down. Inhale up a little. And exhale. Inhale a little more. And exhale. Inhale a bit more and exhale. And then inhale, you're going to come onto your hands and knees, adjust the hands, move back, downward dog, just 1 full breath here. And then slowly pull into the core, using that idea of the inner thighs moving back and the waistline lifting even though you're moving forward. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. And so you're holding in, exhale, folding. So we're coming to the end of our Surya Namaskars. All right, we're coming to the end of saluting that light at the beginning of the practice, of initiating that heat and that vitality. Exhale, bow. Inhale, so we're going to hold reverence. We're going to offer our gratitude to the whole cycle, just as you bend the knees and you huddle. You reclaim the energy and your intention for your practice right here, right now. And then hands to your heart, hug the outer hips in, shoulders to the back. Inhale, come to standing. Breathe in, top of the inhale, pause. If you can, if you can't, you gotta breathe. You have to breathe right now. Exhale up. Inhale your arms out to the sides. Honor the angels and the guides that you know. Maybe they're the trees blowing in the wind. Maybe they're the birds dancing. Maybe it's the mysterious new friend. Inhale your arms overhead. And know that you're part of it. That your story matters. The energy of you is so valuable. And that we get to be alive right here, right now. And then exhale, hinge at the hips all the way down to the earth. Touch the ground, bow. Inhale, find length. So in that new beginning, we can take the wisdom from what we've already done so far. So we know we're going to move slow, but rhythmically. Hopefully you figured that out. Inhale, find length. And exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. Right? Feeling into the deep layers of yourself, because that's where your authority comes from. Inhale, find length, step back, downward facing dog. Both hands on the ground, both feet on the ground for today's practice. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Feeling into the layers of yourself. And then exhale, bring the right knee to the earth, cross the left leg back behind you. So we're going to cross the midline, hands ground down, pull into the center, draw, and you're going to find length through the spine. Okay, so hands on the ground, feet on the ground. You might feel bound or limited or restrained. We are human anyway. So you're going to breathe into all that is there, but you're going to feel how much life is coming alive in you. One more breath. And you're going to inhale and bring that left leg off to the side. Okay? Push the feet into the ground and inhale. Push the bones into the earth. Inhale, come up. You're going to feel the connection. So stand into the left foot. Bend the knee if you need to. Pull into that center. Feel the length. Feel the openness, the volume rising. Inhale the arms out to the side. Draw in. Now as your arms go up, push the legs towards the earth. Pull into the midline. Arms are going up. They're resisting that energy. Hug into the midline. You're going to feel the shoulders draw in. Rise up. Feel the connection and lift up and over to the left. Feel the connection all the way through the side of the throat. All the way to the crown of the head. Stay long on that left side. Feeling the space into the right side. Keep the muscular engagement. And then inhale, come all the way up through the center. Arms go wide. Left knee is going to come underneath your hips. So here you are on your knees. Because that's usually when we're at this moment, right? If anybody's been pregnant and you're full term in that moment, like if you had babies and they came early, okay, you were full term for that child. So it's that moment, right, of being there, or everybody was in the womb of somebody else. Just that's how we arrive here. So you can even think of your own journey. We have no idea that part of our life. It is completely blurry, but we know this part of our life. So drawing in, feel the connection to the core, lengthening through the spine. There's a lot of solidity here. There's a persistency. There's a stubbornness. But in that perseverance, we can open ourselves up to the change and change consciously. So you're going to rise up, find the length. It's a baby camel pose that is exploding on the inside. 3 breaths here. And then exhale, your hands are going to come back behind you. Inhale, lift the heart, shoulders draw into the back. Find the lift, so now your elbows are bending, shoulders are drawing in. Your hands are going to be either at your low back or your tailbone. Feel the lift, feel the engagement, draw in, open the heart, and go a little deeper into your camel, but we just stretched only one side, okay? So don't go super full on. Feel the building of energy. Big inhale, big exhale. Then lift from behind the heart. Inhale, come all the way up. If you can, sit back on your heels. If you cannot, just stay standing on your knees, okay? But we want to let the energy settle slightly. Draw the waist back. Feel the connection through the spine. Breathe in so you can engage with a slower breath so you can feel the expansion from inside, really clearing out all that residue that's built up so we can allow for that alchemical processing, the transformation, so that we can begin anew. You're going to feel that length. Right hand comes behind you, left hand comes to your knee. It's a gentle twist. If you can't be on your knees, you can come into that cheerleader pose. Shoulders to the back, draw into the core, open the heart. So there's a lot of muscular engagement. Don't think that it's just a lazy twist. There's such refinement and engagement, because if you think of the balsamic moon, where we are right now is the balsamic oil, right? Balsamic vinegar, right? It's aged, it's thick, it's potent, it only needs the littlest bit. And I love balsamic vinaigrette. Inhale, come all the way through the center. Finally, hands to the earth, toes tucked, all the way back, just downward dog. Just clear out. So your heels are lifting, your knees are bending, your quads are lifting, your inner thighs are moving back, the core is drawing in, the heart's melting, the hands are grounded, but then the outer forearms are hugging in, the outer hips are hugging in, the heels are extending. And then exhale the knees to the earth. Right leg's going to stretch back. It's going to cross behind you. So we're moving across the midline. Hands ground down. Draw into the core. Make a strong connection to the lines of you. It's crazy. My right leg's like, I cannot go that far over. Okay. Respecting. And feel the length through both sides of the body. Just doing this, you guys are getting so hot, it's really funny. It's also nice not to have the air kicking on right now, so, you know, when you do yoga at home, you get to control your environment, so it's just the way you like it. And then inhale, bring the leg out to the side. Once the foot, make sure it's grounded, lean back so you can rise up, okay? Get heavy into the right foot, push into the earth, pull into that center. You're really working with that soil, preparing the ground, right? It's like, if I come back to the cup flower expression, you're thinking about finding new flowers, but you're just not ready to let go yet. Pull in, feel that connection. Arms go out to the side. And then inhale, feel that energy drawing up. Hug into the midline. Even though one side's out, it's a little wonky, right? In that vulnerability, we can connect more to our emotional and intuitive self. Draw into the center, find length. And then you're going to hug into that midline. Lift up as you reach over to the right. Find the length through that whole right sideline. circular action here. Your foot's pushing to the earth. You're hugging to the midline. The core is sweeping back. The shoulders are drawing in. The sides of the throat are long. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms out to the side. Knees gonna slide in. Hands to heart center. So feel that expansive energy pulling you back in, returning to that orientation with your own intention, finding that length, drawing up through the sides of the body. Start with the hands to the heart this time so you can feel the length through the sides of your being, the ribs drawing in, the legs hugging in, so you can feel this openness. And then as we're on our knees, we surrender, which is exhausting sometimes, I know, but we surrender a little more and a little more. Open the heart, rise up. And then you're gonna inhale, lift from behind the heart, come upright, switch the clasp of the hands, so you get out of habit, and draw into that center line, feeling the openness in the heart. And as you're opening into the heart, lift the chest up, feel the length through the sides of the throat, and open into this version of Ustrasana. Breathe into your physical embodiment. And then inhale, rise all the way up. If you can, just sit back on your heels. If you can't, just come to the ground or stay standing. We want to let some of that high volume dissipate so we can settle and feel the nectar that we can work with even while the pose has vanished, right? So if you thought about that cyclical, we get the peak energy of a big heart opener like that, and it's the settling energy that's residual with us. So breathe into that, feel the expansion into the back and the horizontal line so you can find your inner horizon, so you know how to re-articulate the narrative of your life from this inner wellspring, from this essence, from this permission to go inward and tend to that sacred flame and tend to the home and hearth of your being, and then bring that wisdom out. Eventually, not right now. Find the length. Your right hand's going to move over to the left knee. Just watch the ribs. A pattern I'm discovering in myself is I really swing my rib cage over. So keep the ribs hugging in. Shoulders are to the back. I can't tell you how big this feels in my body, and it looks so refined on the outside and accessible. So meet yourself where you are. It's your journey, it's your path, it's your body's narrative. I'm just using my narrative to spark a little insight for your own reflection. And then inhale, come all the way back to the center. Hands to the earth. Toes tuck all the way back. Downward dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Walk the feet forward. So you can walk on the balls of the feet. So you're going to have to bend your knees, come up onto the fingertips or a block. Bend your knees, draw into the core, lift your toes, lift your heels. Stay connected to the core. Outer hips are hugging in. Maybe even bring your feet together. And then you're going to slowly bring your hips be mindful of knees, be mindful of feet. Move as you need to move. We're going to pull all the way into the center. You're going to draw into your core and slowly come up off the ground. Heels ground down. Come all the way standing. Rise in that light. Stand in that full embodiment of you. You're going to bend your knees. Stay hugging into that midline and just glide the left foot back. Press the feet to the earth. Level out the pelvis. Pull back into the center. Find that length, find that openness. Stretch your tail towards the back heel. Lunge deeper into the front knee. Breathing into the fullness of you. For those 3 breaths, slow and steady. We're still rhythmic. It's just like very slow tempo. Inhale, straighten the leg. You're going to quarter turn to the long edge of the mat. Turn your feet out. Hands can stay on the top of the head or the arms can go wide. Shoulders draw in and come seated. Squat. You're seated in the seat of yourself. You're in that squat. Lighten up the toes, stay heavy in the feet. Now what we're going to do is spin the left heel back, turn the right foot out, adjust the feet, come back to the core, come back to your center, Virabhadrasana 2. For those 3 breaths, long, steady, slow, smooth. There's a consistency to the fluctuation. And then exhale the hands all the way down to the earth, all the way to the ground. Step all the way back, downward dog. 3 breaths and moving in and out of plank pose. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale the knees to the earth. Breathe in. Exhale, third. Breathing in, exhaling a third more. So what do you need to sustain it? Breathe in, you feel it dissolving. And then breathe in and allow it to release completely to the ground. Hands reach back, shoulders drawn to the back. Inhale, rise up, Shalabhasana. Draw the core in. Inhale, be expansive. And exhale, draw back to the center. If you want to inhale, your arms all the way forward, and then exhale all the way back, go for it. I have a wall in my way. Just 3. And coming back in. Hands under your shoulders, shoulders into the back. Inhale, cobra. 3 breaths here. I'm working so hard on shaking. Anybody else? So we're just hugging into that nervous system. And then inhale, lift up, move back, downward dog. So it's, you get what you give, literally, in this practice. So if you work over, if you overdo it, it's going to be taxing. If you underdo it, it's going to be boring. Inhale, walk your feet forward. Oh yeah, right? So we're entering like that final chapter of our practice, okay? We know we're going to do this other side again. But we're beginning to like close up this chapter for the eulogy, right? For the ending.
Draw into the belly. Toes are lifted. Oh, right. I'm sorry, I didn't have you walk on the balls of your feet. So come, heels lift, knees bend. You're on your fingertips. You're going to come all the way down. Right, all the way into the earth. You can't sink and drop. If you sink and drop and plop, you won't get back up. Okay? So you have to continue to pull in to that strength, pull into that core, hug the legs in, hands come to heart center or Anjali Mudra. I'm going to take my hands overhead this time so I can feel this volume of the ribs drawing back, hugging in. It's very dancer-like of me. Use the buoyancy of the upper body to help you out. Heels draw back. Inhale all the way up to standing. Stand tall in the light. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Bend the knees. You're going to slide the right foot back. Right, so we know the storyline. We know we're going to do warrior one. We know we're also coming into the ending, the conclusion of this slow, steady, steamy, strengthening practice. Right? It's not about resistance. It's feeling that sort of continuation of your own strength, your ability to recognize when it's time to release, and when you're ready to begin. Now, you can do that anytime. We're just aligning more with the natural rhythm of the earth and the cosmos. We're feeling connected to a grander support system that every one of us is a part of. 3 breaths. It's incredibly therapeutic for the nervous system, grounding, because we're still heating, right? There's a discipline here. And then inhale, straighten the leg, quarter turn. I love it that my head's cut off. Turn the feet out, exhale into a squat. And I love it that I just noticed my head's been cut off. It's all good. Feel the breath. And as you feel those 3 breaths and you feel the potency, you're going to ground into it a little more. Spin that right heel back. So you're really internally rotating. You're digging into the earth to feel that energy pull up. Turn the left foot out. Now the ribs are probably shifting. So you find warrior 2 and you expand into it. 3 breaths. And then exhale, the hands all the way to the earth. Downward dog. Notice like the freedom that comes, right? Like as soon as you let go of that whole standing flow, you can breathe and be renewed. This is resilience. This is the point of resilience. Move forward into plank. Exhale back. Downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, move it back. Downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, move back. Downward dog. Coming into that plank. Inhale, coming forward. Knees come to the ground. Draw into the core. Elbows bend a third. Right, so we're starting anew. Inhale, we're going to sustain it. Exhale, knowing that the end of this portion is coming. Inhale and allowing ourselves to adapt. One more breath in. Exhale all the way to the earth, all the way to the ground. Hands reach back. Shoulders drawn to the back. I'm going to do this one for my own sake with the arms forward, okay? You choose you, always, above all else. Choose your highest self. So that doesn't mean what's easy, and that doesn't mean what's hard. It's what's aligned for you in this moment. Draw in, rise up. Which is the hardest lesson of all, in my opinion, of choosing what's most aligned with your whole self. Now, as you lift up, inhale, expand. Exhale, hug back into that center. Inhale, expanding. Exhaling, hugging into the center. Inhale, expanding. Exhaling, hugging into the center. Hands come under the shoulders. Feet ground, shoulders draw into the back. Inhale into Bakasana. Inhale, rise up. The past 19 years have taught me to slow down. Move back, child's pose. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and knees. We're gonna sweep the feet off to the side, or you can cross your ankles and come seated. Stretch your legs out in front of you. So I know for myself, I need to do Paschimottanasana, straight-legged forward bend. I want you to connect with the energy you can bow into. That is going to be, again, in service of you, your effort, look, Lulu's emphasizing it. So I know my being, and I embarked on a yoga teaching journey 19 years ago. Wherever you are on your journey, each time we practice and we come to these final delicate moments, it's not about blasting it all out because this is your last chance. It's actually about reining it in and reflecting and surrendering so that we can actually nurture and care for the greater well-being, so we're not so depleted when we step out into the rest of the world, right? That transition from being on your mat to engaging with all other things is big. Like, I get to engage for the first time, a pattern I'm very familiar with. I'm going to go from here in this class and go pick up my daughter. So ground in, draw in, find length. Yes, celebrate with me. Thank you to everybody who just had a breath of enthusiasm for me. I receive it and I appreciate it. So come to a forward bend, maybe soles of the feet together, maybe feet wide. But keep the legs in a parallel expression, right? Because we're working with the duality, believe it or not, that is non-dual. Draw into the belly, waistline goes back. However, and you move into the expression of you and for you. Eight breaths here. 8 is that number of resilience. Move with the breath. Exhale out completely. Inhale, find length, and come up with that buoyancy. Come all the way seated. Drink from the nectar that the poses in the physical practice have provided. You're invited to stay seated today, or you're invited to come reclined. Come though into the place that you know is going to help allow the dissipation. So yes, Shavasana is imperative. And so I'm going out of bounds, I'm going rogue, I'm breaking the rules a little bit of just finishing in meditation. But it's so important to breathe. So you can breathe being on the ground, especially if you feel an intensity and you're finally able to come to a place of steadiness. We don't need to get all ready for more, and you can watch this anytime. You can watch it as much as you want. So you're just going to come seated. You might find alternate nostril breath to be agitating for you. It's what's really coming forward for me personally. Nadi Sodhana. So choose wisely. Choose from that wisdom of your own knowledge data bank, your own experience data bank, and allow that, the vijnana, allow the merging to be of service for this moment here and now. We'll go for 8 rounds or whatever you choose. So maybe you're going to be in Shavasana during this time. I'm going to stop talking. You just want to breathe and feel supported. It's not a free fall. It's a total being held. Held in the mystery, held in the womb of the moon, held in that place where it's so potent that we have to release in order to begin again. It's an opportunity to just release. And release, and release, and release. Release into your own expression. Maybe release straight into the earth. Maybe continue to release a bit more. Just as you are, breathe into all that you are. And this is the point where we feel that transition. This is that point of that void, right? The moment we're in here into the moment we're sitting before. You're going to roll over to one side and slowly come into the seat that serves you. And as you're in service of yourself, that you can serve your highest self. May there be peace. May there be peace. May there be peace. May we continue to awaken to our soul's journey and know that we have a lifetime. And in that lifetime, we get to continue to discover and awaken and reclaim our resilience. And that the womb of the moon is ever present because it's just a symbol of that pattern in your life where there is something closing, yet you don't know what door is opening yet. You haven't crossed the threshold. It hasn't closed completely, but you're feeling pulled into a new direction. And so it is. May we all be called forward by the light and the love that is all around us and within us and guiding our way on. And so it is. I adore each of you and all of you for participating with me today and every day in any way that you do. It's actually interesting that my head was cut off and my upper body was cut off. I'm just going to trust in the technology that it actually protected me and some of the things that I'm processing. This is a very sacred time for me. One would think it's because it's my husband and I's anniversary today, which it is, and that's huge. It's just, on some level, I turned 19 on Thursday, and it's a birthday that matters more to me than my actual natal birthday. So wherever you are, however you are, your light is stoking the fire of my heart, and I carry you with me in ways that you probably won't ever fully understand. And so I appreciate you, and may you live fully, and may you live sweetly, and may you continue to awaken to the sacred flame and feel the courage to be vulnerable enough to sit with your own energy in the womb of the moon so you can bring that new beginning and that new life and that fresh breath forward into the world. And so it is. Ciao, my loves.